Greetings, welcome. Ani, Bojo, Kwekwe, Tanzi, Scano, hi. It's Brian and Catherine at Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, bringing you a very snowy week reading of tarot and oracle cards from an Indigenous perspective, as we are First Nations and run a healing education and art-influenced lodge. So we are doing this reading for the week of the 17th to the 23rd of February. No big astrological things this week except the transition into Pisces. Possibly why, I feel just a tad woo-woo, since I'm both Pisces Sun and Pisces Moon, and we're in a weird astrological cycle. So I have a lot to say, and before I get into the decks we're using for this week, just in case you haven't seen the reel, I am making available a backup deck. I don't need to keep this one as a backup deck. It's still wrapped in plastic, so it's probably going to just glare all over your screen here, but it's the Tarot Landscapes. It's one of the most beautiful decks I own. That's why I originally thought I needed to buy a backup right away, but I didn't. And it's a pull box with a tuck box in it and a book. And it's $36 if anybody wants that, because as I'm filming this, we're getting ready for Valentine's, but there are a lot of March birthdays. To sweeten the deal, I'm including a pendulum. This pendulum is in a red jasper, signaling the heart, and it's on a 14 karat plated chain. We make these, and this is to be used either, it can be used as a necklace or a necklace pendulum. So if you want to buy my backup deck, I'm gifting you that. All right. The spooks have been very active, and I say that lovingly. Please know that that's a word that I first used in early childhood. I've called the spirits my spooks. It was a way my grandmother said it so that I could be comfortable with it. So I'm not being nasty or anything like that, or calling them names. But my spirit guides have been very active about, pushing the idea of spring. We're in the weirdest winter. February blahs, we're up to the yin-yang and snow. And it continues with bad winter weather. However, the hopefulness of what we are incubating right now, those baby animals that get born between now and May don't just fall out of the sky. They are co-created from a place of love, and lovingness and joyfulness, in whether it's couples or your pets or whatever. That's what brings about the hormonal changes that allow the physical to bring down and manifest the spiritual. Anything that's ready to manifest will not come to, say, a couple wanting a baby unless there's great love and joy. Hence, we have this concept of things like Valentine's right now, bringing us lovingness to get us away from the dull, blah thoughts of late winter. I think your puppy is dancing to go out there, Dad. I can hear the jingle of dancing feet. Anyway, I'm going to show you the decks that they've been talking to me about. It's a weird and wonderful melange of things which speak to what they're speaking about. So the first deck is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. For some reason, it always reminds me of Paris in the spring, although I've never been to Paris in the spring. Can you go deal with that? And through the magic of television, I've changed my glasses, and the dog is happy now, Gina. Anyway, continuing, we have the Mirror Oracle by Amrit Brar. That's the companion to the Marigold Tarot, which I always use for ancestors. And yes, naked skeletons have a place in a springtime non-Halloween video. Seasons of the Witch Ostara, which is the spring equinox. Divine Animal Oracles, because the incubation of animals happens right now. The Oracle of Mystical Moments, which is the companion deck to the Tarot Mystical Moments, which we're using this week. The Seasons of the Witch Imbolc. We're still under the Imbolc of early spring influences with this snow. The Whispers of Love Oracle, because yes, we all need that. And the Liminal Spirits Oracle. I had Brian actually douse that this was really meant to be involved, and it is, because again, the influences of the elements and the things in the liminal space, that spiritual holding pattern before things manifest. And finally, the Ostara Tarot, because nothing says tarot like a woman with bee antenna. It's a cute deck, and that's our main tarot for this week. Next week I'm going to switch to the Mystical Moments Tarot. So as I have been speaking of things having to be in the spiritual realm before they can manifest, that's where our thoughts have to be focused. What we want to manifest. Those perennial plants and bulbs that are buried in the ground waiting are pure potential. And so how we manifest this pure potential in the liminal space is critical right now. So I'm going to ask my husband to now flip the camera. And here we are. Here's the Ostara Tarot here, and one of each of the decks to clarify. And I better move my coffee out of the way. All right, so we start the week with the Hermit. That internal light shining through this big cat's eyes is very riveting. It's quite an intense card, because the pulling into self, or being as the hermit in order to seek wisdom. The Hermit is a loner. And it's important to recognize that while the Hermit is a loner, we have the Strength card from the ancestors clarifying it. And strength is, in the old Thoth tradition, lust for life, having the power, the willpower, the energy, the focus to manifest lust for life. And the strength to handle all life around us with gentility. So here's our Hermit, and here's this Strength card. So this is a major arcana card. A very powerful beginning to this week. It's followed by the Six of Wands, which is somehow receiving public accolades for a job well done or an accomplishment. It may not be that we're standing in a crowd being applauded. It may be that the things we're doing are being noticed by others and spoken of favorably. So it's important that we also personally acknowledge our accomplishments. What is that doing? Well, Spirit is saying the clarifying is the House of Flowers. The House of Flowers is very much like the next card, the greenhouse. This is lovingness. This is the house in Jungian psychology is the self. So we are implanting within ourselves positive things, and that's going to create a growth that manifests over time in ways that will surprise us. So we're incubating from the liminal spaces. This is our fertilizer. The good thoughts and the awareness are fertilizing, incubating something very, very special. The next card here is the Nine of Cups, and it's hard to see what this card is, but it's a fairy type person lying amongst a whole bunch of perhaps drunken cats, I don't know, but they have teacups on their heads and such. It's resting. It's about, the Nine of Cups is having it all, emotionally, within relationship to self. And this is a 9 and this is a 9, and that's important. We have repeating numbers showing up in this week's reading. Clarifying this is the greenhouse. And the greenhouse card says, may it be clear the intentions I sow in preparation for the path ahead, which is exactly the entire message of this reading. So we have two versions of a greenhouse symbology here in this reading. Card number 4 is the Death card. And Death card, as we know, is an actual death of somebody. This isn't the old scary boo tarot parlor kind of reading. This is always, in psychological terms and spiritual terms, transformation out of the death of winter into the beginnings of new life. So this is all about preparing for new life, which can't quite manifest yet while snow is on the ground physically. But we've got the Star card. The Star card in this deck is lighting the way. It is about... it's a little different than the tarot meaning of hopes and dreams, but that's included. This is about health. This is about what happens in the night still has light. So even though we may feel like the planet is asleep right now, like we do at night, there is still light. There is still source. And the energy of source is ancestors. It's so much more than just sunlight. It is an energy that has so many different components to it. Following this Death card is the King of Wands. Now, how many weeks in a row have we had the King of Wands? And I've had that showing up personally. It's an amazing, amazing thing. The manifesting at the royal archetype of the king, all that can be caused to grow, the passion and the fire in the belly that gets mobilized and, shall we say, focused on absolutely this pure potential to get it to grow. So we're not sitting for another year not doing the things we want to do and then moaning about it. We are actually this year building a really good foundation. We fertilized this incubation period. And the card that clarifies it just shocked me. I couldn't believe it. The card is from the Mirror Truth, and it's apotheosis. And this apotheosis is like the auric field, the general halo around an individual. It can refer to a fog, but it's a fog like the fog here. It's bringing the light in to focus on growth. It's a very highly spiritual card, and it's our light being connected with the light of source, when for many of us, especially this time of year, it feels like there's lights out right now. The next two cards are both aces, Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So this is an interesting thing. After the death of something from a previous intellectual, because of course swords are air is thought, and clarity. From the death of old thoughts comes this little mouse wearing a tiny crown. It's very difficult to see on camera, but this is the beginnings of new direction. And the sword here is repeated in the clarifier, and this is the Justice card. Justice at all levels. It's a very Libra feeling. It's a very balanced feeling. It heralds the concept of truth, which comes up, and that just occurred to me because seeing one of the cards that's coming at the end. So our new beginnings are coming from a place of justice and balance. The next Wands, of course, is incubating a new beginning of something passionate, a new endeavor. Well, everything of the earth is in the new, in the spring, new babies, new life, new lawns, new flowers, new weeds, new mud, all of this. It's all new. But we are being asked to take our passionate beginnings with the power of the king and the clarity of thought and the justice that precludes it, and know that something new is coming that we love and are passionate about. It's clarified here by daffodils. This is from the Ostara deck. The whispers that inspire are shifting towards you in a melody of creative blooms. So this speaks of April. So it doesn't take long with all this manifesting, since we're still in, the third week of February, and we're going to be seeing daffodils in April, which is less than 2 months away. So we're going to be seeing the fruits of our endeavors here quite quickly this year. The two cards at the end, I normally do astrological cards, and I got a hum and haw about that. So I asked for dotems, or they said to bring out this deck that dealt with animal dotems. And the animal dotem I got shocked me. And the number of this card is 44 in this particular deck. It's called the Jackal. And I think of jackals as rather horrid beasts. But I went to the book and I actually tried to understand what they were bringing forth. And the jackal is, the core element of jackal is the truth. In this picture, what got me to look it up was the picture looked like an Egyptian god, and it is. It's Anubis, the jackal-headed god, which was the protector of the dead and the protector of things at peace, so that they could make a new spiritual journey, so that they could manifest again, just like our plants do over the winter. Eventually, in the Middle Kingdoms of Egypt, this Anubis's roles in the pantheon of Egyptian spirits was taken over more by Osiris, and Osiris was sort of the king, if you will, of the dead, the god of the dead. and Isis was the partner. And I get the strong connection between the three of them. So the Jackal is about truth at all costs. Nothing more, nothing less, in terms of making sure that you are living your truth and not living a lie, not co-creating something that really doesn't serve you. And this is for all of us. This is a collective reading. So we are meant to live in our truth so that we're not spinning our wheels, not doing what's passionate for us and what's right for us for another year, stalling off, doing what makes us joyful. And the last card relates to the Whispers of Love deck, and it's physical touch. A tender touch can mean so much, and that is important. A lot of people are touch deprived. Massage therapists make a killing on those that, and I say that with love and respect. A lot of people have a lot of tension and distress and dis-ease because of lack of touch. So reach out and touch someone. And that's not a Bell telephone commercial. All right, Brian, flip the old camera there. So this is an interesting week, and I look forward when I switch around the cards being used. There's a lot of numerological significance to this week, a lot of endings and beginnings, and so we're right on time with this kind of a reading. As always, Brian and I wish you well. We thank you so much for the support that you give us through the coffee donations and e-transfers and PayPal support and muffins at the door and that kind of thing. Bags of coffee by Amazon. That's always a fun one. Anyway, we thank you for your support, and I really wish for everyone a joyful beginning this year. It's important. As we move into Pisces, it's my birthday month, so I'll be celebrating all month. I'm going to be 68 this year. Anyway, aho and be at peace.